You're listening to the Dibbly-Dobbly podcast. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to make sure you get the latest episodes of the podcast. Be sure to like and share our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. And Joey, we've reached our last topic of this discussion. I've enjoyed it immensely. I hope you have as well, and I hope people listening has enjoyed this as well. I thought for our last topic, Joey, we talk about the T20 World Cup, which is in your neck of the woods in the Caribbean in 2024 this year. And we also talk about the Olympics in 2028, mainly about what they can do to help grow and develop cricket in America for its potential impact. So I thought that was a good topic to end on and talk about. We have the T20 World Cup, which is in June. It's not far away. It's only a few months away. So it comes around quickly. Different T20 World Cup this time around, different formats, 20 teams. There's more teams, which is good. I think that was always the plan to expand and grow it. And then, so you have that happening. There's going to be some games in New York, Florida, and Texas. Then you have some in the Caribbean, of course, at the well-known venues. But be interesting to see some games in New York, Florida, and in Texas, which have hosted some games before. Florida, obviously, at Lauderhill, has hosted some international matches before. And obviously, Texas was a part of Major League Cricket as well. And the New York one's a pop-up stadium in Eisenhower Park, if I'm correct. Yes.
Yep.
So that will be interesting to see how that goes. I think India and Pakistan are playing at that venue, I think.
Yeah.
So that should be a big game. So you have the T20 World Cup and you have the Olympics and cricket's inclusion in LA. Mainly, that's why the ICC wanted the cricket T20 World Cup to be co-hosted with the West Indies and the USA, mainly targeting the North American market. Mm-hmm. And they thought that was a strong area for growth. And two, for the ICC's ambition to have cricket in the Olympics, which was approved, and that's now in the Olympics for 2028. So that should be interesting to see how that tournament goes in 4 years' time. Mm-hmm. Obviously not in for Paris, which is this year, but in 4 years' time, cricket will be in. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. So, Joey, what sort of an impact you would think the T20 World Cup and the Olympics will have on promoting cricket in the USA from your perspective?
I think a big missed opportunity from the United States. First off, I got to say is that we have no warm-up matches for this T20, World Cup cycle. And so I've seen some fundamental errors on our planning aspect of it. Why are we not having warm-up games? What's USA cricket thinking and doing this? Are we naive? Are we, that's a big head scratcher why that's not happening. I'm watching Canada and just feeling really jealous that I want to watch my guys play. I want to know who's on the team. I want to know how Ali Khan's going to be bowling. Want to see, Rusty Theron if he's going to be part of the team. I want to know so bad. And so they're like keeping it from me, and it's kind of not funny right now because a lot of other teams are preparing a lot. Like Nepal has a ton of games. Uganda has like 2 series that they're preparing for, and it's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful to see new teams like Uganda in the T20 World Cup. Having 20 teams, I think, was a great idea that you can't really do in the 50 over version of the game. And it's a big opportunity because, if you look at the ticket prices, and they say they start at $6, in Guyana. But if you look at the ticket prices in New York specifically, and those are the games I'm going to be going to, they start at like $80 and go up from there. That's a lot of money for a ticket.
Yeah.
If they sell out Pakistan and India, those tickets they start at $150, $160 a ticket. So an immense amount of money. So I'm not a huge fan of like commercializing to that extent, but if that could help bring more opportunities, then so be it. If we could sell out those games, the issue with Eisenhower Park is that the park has a lot of construction yet to be completed. From what I understand, they just started breaking ground on Eisenhower Park. Peter de la Pena was he took some pictures of the park, I think in early January, and nothing had been done. So I'm a little worried about the chance for embarrassment for the United States in that aspect. But I think overall it could be a great opportunity, and the economic pull of the United States is like no other. And so I think that's a very smart move from the ICC. Right now, it does feel a little bit artificial. The fandom that we have in the United States, it might be large swaths of people from other countries coming in to watch the games.
Yep.
Or people that are more well-to-do, people who have better resources to watch these games, and that's okay. Like this time, but eventually, you want to see like more community, like grassroots, starting from the bottom and going up. More opportunities for schools to like go as a classroom. I see that in South Africa. I saw that in Zimbabwe in the qualification tournaments. That is like the dearest thing to my heart. Just seeing those young kids dancing, watching the game the whole time. So that's what I would like to see going forward. I don't think we're going to see that on this World Cup because of the way it's organized. I'm also, curious about the tickets because, how I grew up, you could buy tickets fairly easily, like, well in advance. And here they have like a lottery system. I still don't know if I have tickets yet. I'll know in a couple of days, but it's like, really? I was disappointed at how expensive the tickets were, although it is New York, but
Yep.
this is going to be a way bigger undertaking than I previously imagined. So be it. So I think there's a little stress there. But I think that it's a start. And even though it's starting this way, it's not how I would like it. Not at all. It's not how I grew up watching sports. Sports to me was more, like homegrown, more like community oriented. So I'd like to see that going forward, but I think it's a start and I'm happy to be part of it. And so the next time it comes around, it'll be different. And Major League Cricket will be different. And that goes to Major League Cricket. There's only 2 stadiums for Major League Cricket, the Washington Freedom. They don't play any games in Washington. So like, why do they have the Washington name in it, So I think that's a big step going forward, is having unique grounds for every city, have like real, grassroots organizations in each of the cities where they're located, and then getting the youth to play and developing minor league cricket more. And so, you talked about T20 World Cup. I'm very excited about it, and I'll be covering it on my channel. I'm excited about Major League Cricket, but kind of in a way, I'm most excited about minor league cricket because that's the homegrown from the bottom league that I could watch on the regular. And I don't have to worry about high ticket prices. I don't have to worry about the things that I do have to worry with the T20 World Cup. So I can kind of give and take both. But yeah, like I said, it's a start. With the Olympics, a lot of people seem to be sure like it's going to be T20 format. And I don't know if that's like decided yet. It seems like it's going to be good, but inadequate in a lot of ways. And who knows, in 2028, it's like like so far in the future, like cricket will have developed so much. But as of now, there's no major league, San Francisco, I guess. Okay, you'd have San Francisco. But, what's the cricket landscape in Los Angeles going to look like at that time? So there's that question. But also, like, what format would work in a Olympic Games, and how many teams could you have? I think something was mentioned, like 6 teams only.
Yep.
That could be very dangerous with the United States there, because it's going to be like what, India, England, Australia. Like who else could you have? Pakistan, South Africa and the United States. Like, oh God. So I don't know if T20 would work, or if it would. Maybe it's really successful, but I'm like, yeah, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I was almost thinking like a T10 format would be best. because you could play way shorter games. Thinking rugby sevens, how that's like a 20-minute game, and that fits better in the Olympics. I hate to say that. And usually I don't like T10. I do like the European T10 league. That's about it.
Yeah.
That works really well. But it's like, so I think they really need to think it through for the Olympics to make that a successful tournament in the Olympics. And I think 6 teams is not nearly enough. But again, it's like you're limited. So I overall think it's great. And I think once all the big hoopla and all the fireworks settle, the lights turn off, we're going to still have just our grassroots and just our, core members of cricket. And that's going to grow because you're going to have new people be like, oh, that was kind of cool. What's cricket? And come to it and really love cricket for what it really is, because cricket at its heart is much more than the World Cup. It's much more than the Olympics. Cricket at its heart is, the individual teams, individual players playing. And so that's what I'm most interested in. And so I think it's, it'll swell up, and then when it cools down, we'll have a much bigger base to grow off of. So I think there's just opportunities all around us. So it's really exciting, and I'm just glad to be part of it so much. So.
Absolutely. Good to hear your thoughts on that. Has it been advertised as much, like with the T20 World Cup? Do people know it's on? Do you see it on billboards or posters or whatever?
Good question. 0. Nothing. If the internet didn't exist, I was telling my wife this the other day, if like the internet didn't exist, I wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
That's one thing where to watch it on TV, like Major League Cricket was on a very small channel, CBS sports package, like just a very, very rare cable TV channel that nobody watches. So we watch it on Willow TV. Willow TV is like the online streaming platform. But a lot of things are moving to the internet, but if I didn't have the internet, that I would not have known about it, because it's not advertised anywhere on print media. Don't see any billboards, don't run into it ever. The one time I saw cricket in the wild, as I say, is one of my daughter's assistant principals was wearing a Delhi Capitals hat. And so he was into cricket. And I was dropping off my daughter, and I was like, oh my God, you like Delhi Capitals? That's great. IPL. And so that was the one time. And then, he was so excited. I was so excited. I forgot what I was doing. Like, I'm going to drop my daughter off at this school. But so there's definitely people out there, but, we're few and far between. I think the internet's pulling us together, and hopefully this grows a bigger community so you can see that in the wild more often. But right now it's like nothing.
Yeah, and I have heard that from some people who said it's basically non-existent in terms of advertising, especially from Peter De La Pena. He told me that when I spoke to him about the Olympics and about the T20 World Cup. He said basically nothing. No one knows it's in the Olympics. They know flag football's in the Olympics for 2028. That's been advertised to the hilt.
Yep.
But cricket hasn't.
Yep.
And same with the T20 World Cup, nothing at all. So a missed opportunity there for the organizers of both the Olympics and for the T20 World Cup, especially to get it across in America. Isn't that the whole reason why we have these tournaments in for a reason for the T20 World Cup and the Olympics? You want to get it across.
Yeah.
And they're not doing anything about it. So that's a shame. But maybe that will change as we get closer to the T20 World Cup. Maybe more advertising. And as we get closer to the Olympics, which is a fair way off, it's only 4 years away, then we'll see more and more stuff being advertised. But probably missed the ball there.
Yes.
On that front. But do you think it will make a significant difference to people supporting cricket in these two events, or do you think it will just be the status quo?
I could see it being just the status quo, but it might make a difference. Maybe it'll make a little difference, and that little difference will help make a bigger difference. It makes a difference with me, and I think that's important. I'm interested to see what new fans are at the stadium. I'm sure there's going to be some, but the inaccessibility of the tickets kind of worries me. Because if you're pricing it that high, you're only going to get people who are flying in or who live in the area that are very well to do that are going to watch that game, go through the hassle. Because for someone like me, it's like, okay, you got to find a way to get to New York, stay in New York, find a way to get to the stadium, pay, really high ticket prices. If I want to go to multiple games, I got to stay the night. And New York's it's a very expensive city. So, it's a big thing for me, where for someone else with much more means, it's probably much easier. So I think it'll be something, but I think going forward, hopefully there's more events, like we learn from this event, and there's more events that are more, accessible to all types of fans of cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was good to hear your perspective on that, about the T20 World Cup and the Olympics, because when I spoke to Peter Della Penna, he had a different perspective. And when I spoke to Nate Hayes about it from Emerging Cricket, he had a different perspective on it as well. I suppose people have different ways of looking at it, whether it will make an impact or not. But good to hear your thoughts on that, and good to hear what you feel about these events taking place in the States and what will it do for cricket. So thanks for that, Joey. It was great to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Well, hi everyone. I hope you enjoyed hearing Joey and I discuss the ICC T20 World Cup 2024, Los Angeles Olympics 2028, potential impact on cricket in the USA.